Hello Tennos, Zelp here, and today we are going to look at a weapon called the Endura. Now this weapon is fairly new, although I did get it pretty late. That's not the point. What we're going to do today is I'm going to share with you some builds on this weapon, and you're going to tell me what you think about it on the comments. But first, let's touch a little bit on the stance because it's important. The stance, as you can see, there is a lot of slash procs involved. And throughout the demonstration, I'm actually going to use the dual secrets combo. But what I really want to point out is how strong Hidden Flourish is. So over here you can actually see the combo and what you need to do. I'm going to show you in game. Now to pull it off is really simple. All you have to do is hold E or your melee attack button, and then continue spamming. So hold once. When you see the animation starts, just spam E, right? So you hold once and then you just start spamming, and that will pull off the whole entire Hidden Flourish. At the end of the combo, it also pulls off a finisher. So I'm gonna show you how it looks like. There you go. Now some of you might not be a big fan of finishers. You might find that the animation is too long, or because it's subjected to one enemy at a time. But there is still a way to use this combo pretty effectively. It's by ending it early, somewhere around here. And what you want to do is hold E followed by double tapping or a single tap, and that should get you somewhere between here and here. Okay, so let me just show you how it looks like in game. So I'm gonna summon a level 145 heavy gunner. As always, come over here and do that thing. Okay, and that is one half combo and it dies. Okay, because there is so much bleed involved, the bleed is what that kills it basically. Okay, so let's take a look at builds. Now here, the first build I'm going to share is a bleed build. So the whole idea is to proc bleed such that it kills the enemy. Now since bleed bypasses armor and shields, so the survivability of the enemy pretty much purely depends on the health pool. So what I did here first of all is I introduced viral to reduce that health pool to half, so you only have to deal with half of the health. The next thing you have left is either heat or electricity. Now it's a very important thing to include another element, because you want to have your condition overload to reach its full potential. So that means the more status type that you could proc, the better it is. Okay, so you have to pick between heat or electricity. Now I pick heat, especially for single targets, because it does more damage and I believe the CC is longer. But electricity is actually also good because the chain lightning will stun a group of enemies in 5 meters, and on top of that, that whole group of enemies will get that proc, the shock proc. And this means that if you ever need to change or switch targets right after the one that you're hitting is dead, the initial attack will already have a proc on it, so you're gonna have your condition overload kick in immediately. The duration for the heat and electric overhead display is exactly 6 seconds, so they are the same, just so you know. Now next thing I did was I have Weeping Wounds. Now you might ask that why did I get Molten Impact instead of the dual stat mod for heat, which is Volcanic Edge. Okay, now the reason why is if you have Volcanic Edge, first of all, the priority of heat being procced is lesser. Okay, and unless every single thing here procs, the condition overload cannot reach its full potential. So you kind of want it to be close to viral at least. So having the molten, the 90% heat mod is slightly better in that sense because it brings the damage closer to viral. The second reason is because I'm gonna use Weeping Wounds. Okay, at 70%, let me just show you the chart over here. So at 70% Weeping Wounds, you're gonna do more than 100% proc chance immediately after 5 hits. Okay, and I feel like that is a little bit of a overkill. So instead, I reduce it by down to 55%, and then now I need to make it to at least the second, the 2 times multiplier before it reaches 100%. And at 92% after 5 hits is also really good. Now just so you know, here is another chart where you can see the combo count. So at times 2 is only 15 hits, which is pretty fast. Now the following 3 mods, which is Prime Fury, Prime Pressure Point, and Condition Overload, it's okay if you don't have the Prime one, just put on the normal one. These 3 mods, they are something like the foundation. It's quite important to have them. If you miss any one of these 3 mods, you're gonna feel a large hit to the damage output. So make sure that you have at least these 3 things on. And the last mod that I use here is Smite Grenier, because we are testing against Grenier. Now depending on the factions of the sortie that you enter, you can change this accordingly, and this weapon will still be really good. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put this to the test by fighting against a level 145 heavy gunner as always, and we're going to do this 3 times, okay, and we're going to see the average amount of hits it takes to kill this enemy. Okay, and we're going to record that. Okay, 18 hits.
Round 2.
Again, 18 hits.
Round 3. Last one.
21 hits. Okay, so it's 2 times 18, 121. I would say it averages out around 19, or let's just say 20. Oh, and by the way, you can actually compare my builds with the number of hits because they all contain the same attack speed. So the next build is a corrosive build, and they are more specifically for enemies with armor, because enemies with armor are usually the hardest to take down. The idea here is to proc corrosive so often that it reduces the enemy's armor until even your normal attacks will start to show significant damage. Okay, so now the bleed is still there, it still comes in and it still do a significant amount of damage, but then this time even your normal attacks is going to do a lot of damage. So that is the idea here. Now I realize that I do not have a second element, so that means my condition overload cannot reach its full potential, but it's okay because after testing, if I introduce another element, it actually reduces the chance of corrosive to proc, and that kinda messes up with this build as well. So yeah, so I'm going with this setup. I also have whipping wounds at 55%. After 5 hits, I'm gonna have 92% status chance, so that is already really good. Okay, so let's take this for a demonstration. Again, level 145 heavy gunner, and 3 rounds.
First one. Ooh.
23 hits. Again, 23 hits. Pretty consistent.
But it's kind of worse than the first build. Oh, the first one caught.
21. Now the thing about this build is that it really depends on how often the corrosive procs, and also how soon does it start proccing. Now do remember that it is competing with 3 other damage types, and also the 3 other damage types are physical damage, so they are 4 times more likely to proc relatively to the damage. I actually did this test before and it kills the enemy in less than 18 hits. So I guess you can say that the corrosive build has some luck required. Now here's another build that needs luck, which is a critical build. I know what you're thinking, this weapon and critical, what am I thinking? Am I crazy? It has only 5% critical chance, so why on earth am I trying to make this a critical build? That is sort of why there's an F here in the name of the build. It's not what you think, it's a force critical build. Okay, so I'm trying to force critical it with Blood Rush. And the whole reason why I'm doing that is because let's just take a look at the bleed build. In case you missed the video when I talk about bleed and how the damage is being calculated, the damage is actually not inclusive, as in it does not get buffed with elemental or physical mods. Okay, that means let's say this whole setup, the only thing that increases the damage on the bleed is pressure point, condition overload, and smite. Everything else it doesn't, but critical multiplier does. So that is what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to increase the bleed damage with critical. Okay, so how I'm gonna pull this off, Blood Rush, if I can somehow reach, let's say, the 2.5 combo multiplier, it's going to have about 25% critical chance. Okay, and that is pretty good. It's about a quarter of the time I'm gonna do double damage. So let's come back here. So in other words, this is actually more of a bleed build, but I'm just trying to bump up the bleed damage with critical. Okay, and since I do not have weeping wounds, I'm gonna use the dual stat mods for heat to increase my status chance. Instead of 55%, now 70%. Okay, and that's pretty much it. So there is an empty slot here, and we're gonna talk about it in just a second, but first let's go to the demonstration and see how this works out. So round 1, here we go, level 145 heavy gunner. Oh, 15 hits.
Okay, 15 hits. Round 2.
Again, 15 hits.
Okay. Round 3. You must be really lucky. 15 hits is really fast. Ooh, I'm not talking. There you go.
Ooh, 24 hits. Okay, so that is quite a jump from 15 to 24. I would say it averages out around 20 hits. So let's come back here to this empty slot and talk about what to put on. Okay, to be honest, you can put a lot of things there, but I would recommend two. First is Relentless Combination. Now the reason why is because this weapon has really good slash proccing potential. So having Relentless Combination for every tick of the bleed proc is going to give you a combo count. Okay, so now let's just take a look at the combo again. The first hit, just the first hit itself, is going to do 2 slashes, and each one is going to proc individual slash proc, okay, which is going to cause bleed. And this means because each bleed proc is going to tick for 7 times in 6 seconds, this means that in just one push of button, you're going to potentially get 16 combo counts. Okay, of course you have to wait for the duration of the entire thing in order to get the whole accumulated 16, but still with just one push a button, let's just take a look at the combo bonus tier. With just one push the button, you're gonna go beyond the second bonus tier, which is the 2 times multiplier that requires 15 hits. If you just look at Hidden Flourish, you're gonna do like 2 procs here, 4 procs here, and potentially more procs as you attack. And you can do the math and you can see that you're gonna get a lot of combo counts in a really short amount of time. Now in case you're wondering if you can proc your own slash on the given slash locations, the answer is no. Okay, they give you a guaranteed slash proc, but sadly you cannot proc slash again, but you can proc other things like elements. So these locations where they give you the guarantee slash proc is actually a really good place for you to proc your elemental status, because it won't be in competing with your slash. My good friend and YouTuber at his channel Xandypants, he also talked about Relentless Combination with this weapon, and over there he talked about not using it. Okay, now he has some really good points. I'm gonna give you the link at the description below so you can check it out. Over there he talked about this weapon being so good, it's gonna kill enemies within 1 or 2 hits, or at least the majority of enemies. So what's the whole point of having this when there is no chance for the bleed to proc, which gives you the combo count? So wouldn't it be better if you have some kind of damaging mods on instead? And he is right, because we are dealing with a level 145 heavy gunner that you will most likely not see in the majority of the missions. So the other mod that I would recommend is Drifting Contact. So the whole idea is that you get to maintain your combo count, so as you fight you get stronger, and immediately when you start attacking another enemy you are already at that point where you have a lot of combo multipliers, and you also have a lot of critical chance followed by the given 40% status chance. Okay, I guess that is all for this video. I actually used this weapon with a different set of mods that look something like this, where I have life track on, and you should have no problem with this kind of setup if you are running with Inaros with a rage build. So thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, leave your thoughts at the comments, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye, Thanos.